Alright. Since my Cricut sticker cutter is not a scanner, I have a bunch of these that I printed earlier that I got to cut manually. And I don't want to waste the ink, I don't want to waste the paper, so that's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing. Till the end of time. It would have been nice if I could just put a bunch of these on top of each other and just do it once, that way. But such is life. One down, 500 to go. Part of me does just want to say, like, eat this. Just say fuck it and eat it. Just reprint them again. I mean, it didn't necessarily cost that much money to make. But feels like such a waste. I'd rather not do that. I'm kind of forcing myself to do this. But hey, the feeling of that would just go away shortly enough. And these do cut pretty easily. And X-Acto blade is a little more versatile than the scissors. That's why I rather use X-Acto blade. And I got a pile already. So why stop now? The thing that always baffles me is carrying this attitude of just like not caring to know what's going on in the greater world and acting like not giving a shit's some kind of virtue. I don't know, it just seems really weird. If I had encounters with people where like trying to watch a video. It's not necessarily a news video, it's a commentary on like some news event. And one friend of ours was getting like getting upset. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. No. Like, I mean, it's reality, and you know, it's a thing that happened. Well, my mom listens to that stuff all the time. I can't. Okay. I'm not in a constant dopamine drip of escapism. seldom do well-behaved people make history, and apparently there's just people from all sides, every place you go. They want you to like turn down the temperature, be nice, be reasonable, discussing certain ideas or topics. Like, to what end? Like, I know people just get like annoyed when some unique situation hits their friend or someone that they know. It's like they don't want to hear about it. Or they'll entertain hearing it about it once. And act like the ramifications, whatever event it may be, are just supposed to be like resolved and over with. Not even resolved, it doesn't matter if it's resolved, you're just supposed to get over it within a short amount of time. So, you know, we can get back to having fun and binge watching TV shows and playing video games. Like, I remember one of the sentiments I picked up on watching a documentary on paragraph, it was paragraph 175, about some of the few Holocaust survivors that were queer. And they mentioned if they ever try to like bring up the stories with their family, they would just like shoot them down, like, oh, we don't want to hear about that. Oh, please don't talk about that. We won't talk about that right now. When can we talk about it then? Never? Just never think about it until some like event or phrase brings you back to that moment. You fly off the handle and everyone points at you and wonders why you're acting crazy. Wild and crazy shit. Alright, another Nazi bullet out. Or anti-Nazi bullet, excuse me. I mean, it is Nazi repellent. I suppose I should be using a ruler for some of these straight lines. I still have a steady hand. That's it. That works. Where's my fucking short ruler? Where's my tiny ruler at? Oh well. Yeah, what's my 6-incher? Might be in tools. There it is. This will come in handy. If these more angular ones. Big ass stack here. It really is as tempting in my mind just to be like, fuck it, take the loss. Fighting hard against it. Because this is the last thing between me and starting the book I want to start for good this time. And I'm going to pitch it to publishers to hell or high water, see about getting it published. And if I have to rely on like word of mouth and doing it myself, then so be it. Got nothing to lose. Got some new music. Yeah, it does sound like Doom. Yep, there it is. It's a song with lyrics too, so I'll probably get the little copyright claim. I have a corner. There's nothing I like more than heavy metal music where I can't understand what they're saying. Oh, I heard emotion. Oh, where's the small rule I just had like a minute ago? Oh. Does get pretty taxing on my hands. It's also so much slower than the goddamn cricket now that it's kind of like, why am I doing this? Oh yeah, money. Save that money, gotta save money where I can. Gotta sacrifice a day or two before starting the book. This real quick, I guess I'll do it. And just learn my lesson, you know, get a cricket. Then you'll never have to do this again. Strain on my thumb. I guess I could take a break at one point and switch gears and this into the next project. Ah, Jesus. I think I'll give it one more sheet, and I want to switch gears and do a fucking sketch. Seriously. The tedium of this right now. Me no likey. But I don't want to waste the $30 and shit that basically costs to make all these. Cut them, use them, sell them, whatever. Yes. And all right, quick break. I didn't print any more of these. Like this. It was kind of like an oh no when I found out that the Cricket's not really a scanner. It's able to like optically measure based on input, I guess, where the cuts are going to be on the image and everything. And it is stunningly accurate. But nonetheless, you can't just print up any random sheet and put it up there and tell it to cut it accordingly. It just doesn't work that way. Because there's a certain size it's willing to cut at. Anywhere outside of that range, which these are, then it would just be off. I would have to put so much white space to try to get them just be cut out correctly that I'd just be doing this by hand anyways with the program. But like I said, this cut's easy, so even with the lamination. But still think I'm just going to switch gears after this sheet just to change the pace here a bit. And I'll be going at it a lot longer tomorrow, because tomorrow is Friday. I can stay up late. Like tonight, where I gotta pretty much be in bed by 11. I have to be up at 5 a.m., but fuck that. My bedtime's at 11 now. Six hours of sleep's enough. I can fall asleep within 5 minutes of laying down. Allow me to at least have some kind of time frame to do editing and artwork. First day doing this routine, so it's kind of why I'm kind of anxious just to get this sheet done and just switch over to sketching out some thumbnails at least for the first book. Well, I guess my second one. Actually, it's kind of my fourth. I did 4 comic books actually. And this will be like my first all ages book. Short story at least. like to know how to like negotiate my way into publisher. What would I need to do? My physical copies and stuff into like Barnes and Noble, comic book store, or any kind of bookstore. I wonder if my Furry Menace comic be tricked into being sold at like Christian stores or something. That'd be pretty funny. Wonder if it will work. They even look at it. Oh, this seems passable. This seems like it takes it seriously. It is very satisfying, even though so far one rando bought my stuff. So, in fact, I can have that happen with no advertising, hardly any promotions outside of myself. All these fucking online circles where you're not allowed to promote yourself in any way. It's like ads are fucking expensive as shit. You're not gonna afford that. The only thing that's gonna happen if you try to pay Google or Facebook for like ad space is that you're gonna be out like $50, $100, and you're not gonna have anything to show for it, because in order for it to be effective, you have to spend at least in the tens of thousands to make any kind of dent in terms of like brand awareness. Yeah, I did say I was going to stop at that last sheet, didn't I? Well, I guess I'll stop at this one. Perfect, okay. Alright. Grab my notebook. Alright. I don't really care for this peripheral edges stuff, but that'll do. I'm mainly just doing thumbnails tonight for this project. do like to lean. Stand straight up. Right there should be good. All right. That's my character sheet right here. Next thing I'm going to invest in is a heavy-duty paper cutter, though. Oh, that's right, I just got paid from Pessimist. I could probably do that now. Let's see, time lapse, 4K. Oh. All right. So, basically the goal is just to get an outline. What's this shit gonna look like? Yeah, what's the size gonna be? 12 by 12, I think. It's my fucking phone. Fuck me. sakes. I was cutting shit. Damn. Okay. All I wanted to do was check to make sure I got the dimensions right. Mouse guard, comic, dimensions. This is kind of just like my little week and nod here. Hardcover edition, 8.3 inches. I'm guessing he has like a bleed or whatever for when it comes to mass producing, mass cutting. I guess we'll go by that, 12 by 3. 0.3 bleed. Here's my Easter eggs, just the format and the size, because mouse guard from David Patterson is kind of a unique size for dimension for a comic. Highly detailed, very efficient from my understanding. That's the thing I'm trying to balance right now. So when it comes to like levels of detail and time frames and deadlines, illustration, you can take illustration, highest detail, highest dimensions a lot of times. Comics is the second step down, where things are a little more simplified. So you can at least get like, well, I don't know, what's the average? Like 1 day for a page? I believe that's the standard. Running a single comic book page can take anywhere from a few. Well, I don't need the fucking AI answer. God damn. An 8-hour page of comic art requires a minimum of 9 hours. Wait, an 8-hour page of comic art requires a minimum of 9 hours. Okay. So, 9 hours. A numerical scale 1 to 3 is low, 4 to 6 is medium. What the fuck does that mean? Seven to 9 hours on a good day. Fair enough. So that's where it just comes into how much detail do you need to add to it? How much detail are you willing to add to it? Do you want to take 20 years to make one comic book? That sort of thing. And animations where you go down to the least amount of details. Because it's all about flow and action. As opposed to comics, which is implied. Alright, so here's our introduction of the characters. I'm going to see the 4 of them emerging from a cave. I think to indicate that they're all disconnected is just them all in different looking states, all in different directions. bunch of vines and grass. We're gonna have one really close up to the camera. A bunch of like giant roots. Well, giant for mice at least. Back here climbing up. Back. Yeah, I almost started just sketching it out on the big pad, but I'm like, nah, better to plan it out. Even though we're starting over again, like the third time. Hey, third time's a charm, right? Here. I have one mouse climbing up. This fourth mouse is going to be up on the vines. We have a real close-up shot of one mouse coming up here. We have some weird looking flowers. Fungi. I do intend it to be kind of a goofy setting. Like we're gonna have fucking like hot dog trees and shit. And let the first page be something implying normalcy, I guess. Or at least a semblance of normalcy. Alright, now I want to get too crazy with the thumbnails. Get the fuck out of here. God damn. Let's figure out who's going to be who, who's going to be where. Put TJ up front center here. Quick and easy. I always wanted, like, when I had my hand in some furry convention business, at least attempted to, I always wanted to have, like, someone like David Patterson as a fucking guest of honor. The response I got was, like, furries don't appreciate that. Like, what? They don't appreciate someone who's professional? Who, like, made it? Sharing their experience. You know, someone who makes furry artwork. I mean, it's a furry comic. You know, some artists try to like separate themselves from that shit, but it's a genre, it's an aesthetic. That's what it is. So it's a furry comic. I always tell people I'm an artist who's a furry, not a furry artist. Can't put daddy in a box. Oof. Alright, well, let this be practice. Getting proportions down and shit. Angles. Man. Man's home. Husband one is home. 4 spikes. Make a note of that. Again, comics, illustration, trying to keep things a little more simplified. But it's also to help keep character consistency. If he has like 20 spikes on his head, it's just going to be fucking problematic later. Alright. Off there. So you see some of his marking here. Yes! Fen! Alright. Right back. Womp. Hold on. Where's my fucking right back shit? There it is. Oh, well, I might even use the post. Oh. democracy. Like, for democracy. The democracy is crushed violently. Alrighty. It does. Alright. Yeah, let's get a rough idea here. Let's see. We're gonna have Greg. And I don't want to be spoiling the story or anything while I'm doing this, but I don't know. I think the other thing I gotta think of is I'm gonna promote this goddamn comic book. Both the Skull Kid one I just did recently again. I posted actually to sale for sale. I guess the other thing is, I guess I could post it digitally and just like hope for the best in terms of trying to garner sales out of that, but I don't know. I think my best bet is to just like try to promote it free and then sell it at shows, both at Comic-Cons, anime conventions, I don't know, art shows even. They even let me do it. Maybe. We have one on the vines there. An idea what this flower is going to look like. Two, three, and then four. Maryland here. Fours here. Yeah, I went through like multiple different design choices for this thing. Shit. Go. Hey. Yeah, the chat's open. How's it going, Dalen? Hopefully with my hours I can keep up with this time frame. But yeah, the idea is to do these late night art things daily now. Couple hours of edit video, couple hours of art. Alright. I've been making stickers. Yeah, I had a feeling that recent video's not going to do as good as the other ones. It's got to be about things. It's got to be about the popular topic of the day. Whatever. What's going on? I did, and it lasted for about 8 months. So I'm back to hourly work on top of this now. Though I didn't waste any of those 8 months, I'll tell you that. I rearranged my art room, listed a bunch of items, went to some shows, made some sales. You know, we're at a point where it was either we can take out a massive loan and hope for the best, or we can go back to I can go back to hourly work and fund it that way on the side. We're about to make another big move sometime from now. Not sure when. But hours are working a little bit better now because I'm in the morning. I'm working, so it gives me time during the day afterwards to just, you know, do this stuff now. The ironic thing is now I'm actually starting to get a little more focused on what's the more important thing. I also got a lot of tools that I wouldn't have been able to get otherwise that make things a lot more convenient and fast. Alright. So I kind of got page 1. Page 2, let's get a thumbnail of that one at least. I don't know if I want to do all the thumbnails first and go page by page that way, or do a couple thumbnails and start doing a couple pages at a time. Well, I guess the idea first is to do a couple pages, get those finished, pitch them to publishers and see about getting the book published. You know, send out my outline with it. All right. Here we have 4 mice arriving in paradise. TJ, Marilyn, Nin, and Greg. How they got there is not important. And yeah, we just got ant-sized versions of them here. Let's not have them together, because the idea is that there's a bunch of selfish, self-serving pieces of shit. So they're gonna be all over the fucking map here. And that way, running in all different directions here. Actually, I take it back. Because of the shot we're doing and everything, it would make sense that they all, for a brief moment, all standing in awe at the magnificence that they're witnessing here. This is toys. Kids don't even say toys anymore. Do they play with toys these days? Or is there some other like slogan or some slang that they use for it? Food. This big sign that just says food. Sticking out of this is, you know, a bunch of like tree roots. trees sticking out. Long grass. So gotta get just a rough idea what it's gonna look like before you do the actual thing. I'm trying to keep in mind that these are mice, so they're gonna be a lot smaller than everything else around it. Anything else around them. The further it goes, the further like off this whole like environment is gonna be for them. Big grass in the foreground here, almost obscuring some of them. It's just a very dense forest area. I think we can get the idea here. Let's do the, well, I do have some time here. I can probably start sketching out the main page here. Oh, this is the, oh, that's right. Now I realize why I just do one side of the page, because if you do it both sides, it just ends up smudging and smearing. So whatever. Let's see. Square. Square. Page 3 and 4. We'll do 3 and 4, and then I'll start probably the roughing of the first page. Where do you work? Well, I work in agriculture. So I get to say, like, no matter what, if someone's eating beef, drinking milk, having ice cream, I have a hand in that, one way or the other. And I don't mean like stocking shelves or anything like that. I just mean like where the food actually comes from. So wherever anyone is in the States or the world, basically. Because that stuff gets shipped everywhere, including New Zealand. Yeah, without giving away and doxing myself potentially, is just, you know. Yeah. Whatever you want. Basically, I'm in line of, you know, where everyone's beef and dairy come from. So, actual contribution in that sense. Okay, 3 and 4. Well, on top of editing for this show, too, onion nuggets. Which obviously, if you go on, if you're on my channel still, you see that, you see where that is. But let's see. Aww. He plays with baby toys. Oh, for your child, yeah. I just met kids in school these days. Earlier. Alright, let's see. Plenty of food that mice like, from hot dog trees, soda plants, and sprouts of grilled cheese sandwiches. They all have one simple rule. Give it to me, it's mine! They scratch, bite, and kick for everything they find, wanting it all to themselves, even though there is more than enough food and stuff to entertain each other. Well, even though there's more than enough food and stuff to share, Really. Could be the word. Correct that. Alright, so we're gonna have Maryland, no, TJ picking hot dogs. I guess, yeah, I would just do kind of like a split panel here a little bit. Maybe just do like an angle. We can have like the hot dog tree coming down here. There's a movie where, I think, yeah, it was a Pee Wee Herman movie where they have the hot dog tree. Like, oh, it's my hot dog tree. It's a cute movie. I'll probably have to watch it again at some point. I was in my curmudgeon phase as a teenager, so I was like resistant to watching anything like that. Because, you know, I'm a big boy. Big boy don't watch no kids movie. Alright, so Maryland's gonna be like, oh no, TJ's getting the hot dog, of course. Have him pulling one right here. I know this doesn't look like much right at the moment, but that's the idea of thumbnails, is that it's quick, simple, and you just get a blueprint. You know what I find ironic too is just like how many of these saps right now are making fucking AI books and attempting to sell them to the point where like the market's so saturated no one can do shit with it. We got an electric book for do-it-yourself electrician stuff, and the images in it were AI generated. And they didn't try to hide it. They didn't try to fix any of their fucking mistakes in the images. In fact, if I can show it. I have to show it on here because I can't put it on the computer easily. I was going to show it on here. Where's all my library? Here we go. There's one. What the hell is that? Where's his head? Mount dependent base securely to the electrical box using screws provided. Well, just and it's just like basic stuff that they had right, like how to replace a fucking light fixture. His head is just gone. Is he a hollow? Maybe there's this one. This guy has 3 hands apparently. And this guy has 2 right hands. 2 right hands. We sent this book back. I mean, we even have to send it back. We asked Amazon for a refund. They just gave it to us, and didn't even have it send it back to them. So whoever's doing this shit's doing it like so much on the cheap that they're willing to just take the loss. Like, what the hell is this? What the hell's going on here? Like, why are we putting stuff in the Switch? He's put a wire in the Switch. And what the hell's this? Yep, that's how you mount the wire. Oh, you know what? Have you ever wanted to see how I look like? I mean, you can send me a selfie, sure. PJ's getting that hot dog. Gonna have him on his tippy toes here. I mean, obviously a lot of this is subject to change, just an idea, so I know what I'm doing. Alright. Might actually have to go here in a minute. I gotta help a friend. Alright. Be back on tomorrow though.